Hi, today I'm here with a video that I am particularly excited about and which I'm hoping will be the start of a new series of videos if you guys like it too. The concept behind it obviously isn't new at all. There's more than enough booktubers and bloggers out there who create monthly videos or posts talking about the upcoming book releases that are going to be coming out in that particular month. However, most of these people tend to be talking about upcoming YA releases, and I myself am not particularly interested in YA, which is why I'm here today to talk to you guys about some books that are being released in May that fit into other genres that aren't YA. So first up we have a novel called When Never Comes by Barbara Davis. This is the story of a woman named Christy Lynn whose husband dies in a car crash, but it turns out that her husband's body wasn't the only body in the car, and it's only then that she finds out that he has been having an affair with another woman. She also discovers that he and this woman have a child, and this book basically explores her overcoming all of the emotional hurdles and past demons that she has been battling with through developing a relationship with this child. After that we have a book called You, Me, Everything by Catherine Isaac. This is a story of a woman named Jess who takes her son on a holiday to France to see her ex-boyfriend and her son's father. This ex-boyfriend has been running a hotel in France and has a new girlfriend and isn't really interested in having a relationship with his son at all, and Jess has gone over to France with her son in order to try and convince him to have more of a relationship with their child. Next we have a book called Love and Ruin by Paula McLean. This is a historical fiction novel set in the late 1930s in the Spanish Civil War and the lead up to World War II, and it follows a young woman named Martha who travels to Spain to report on the Spanish Civil War, and while she is there she meets Ernest Hemingway, and the story is a fictionalized account of their growing relationship against the backdrop of the Civil War and the lead up to World War II. Next we have a book that I am particularly excited about, which is called The Map of Salt and Stars. This book seems to hold a lot of promise because it's being talked about as doing for Syria what the Kite Runner did for Afghanistan. It's the story of two girls who live in Syria 800 years apart. One of them is a refugee in the war-torn Syria that we are only too familiar with today, and the other one is living in medieval Syria as an apprentice to a map maker. And both of these girls end up following the same journey through Syria geographically, even though they are separated by 800 years in time. After that we have a book called The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. This is about a woman who has just entered the Stanville Correctional Facility after receiving 2 life sentences for a crime, and it explores her life leading up to her arrest and her life outside of jail, and of course her life now that she has entered into the prison system. Next up we have The Ensemble by Aja Gabel. This is her debut novel, which explores 4 friends who are all musicians in the same ensemble, and it explores their intertwining relationships with each other throughout their lives. After that we have That Kind of Mother by Rumaan Alam. This is the story of a first-time mother named Rebecca who asks one of the women at the hospital, Priscilla, to come home with her to work as a nanny because she is feeling overwhelmed with her life as a new mother. Rebecca is a white woman and Priscilla is a black woman, and through her relationship with Priscilla, Rebecca comes to confront and acknowledge her own privileges as a white woman. After that we have a selection of short stories called You Think It, I'll Say It by Curtis Sittenfeld. This is a selection of short stories all written by the same author that all basically explore different forms of characterization and different aspects of life. And we also have Not That Bad, which is the next selection of essays and short stories by Roxane Gray. This is a feminist anthology of essays from both Roxane Gray and other established authors that all explore the aggression and abuse and harassment that women can face when they try to speak out on matters of feminism. The next book is The Death of Mrs Westaway by Ruth Ware. This is a mystery novel about a woman who is a tarot card reader and receives a letter that wasn't meant for her, talking about an inheritance that the real recipient of the letter was supposed to receive. Through her tarot card reading skills, she discovers that the death of the woman leaving the inheritance has some mysterious aspects about it and ends up going on a journey to try and solve what happened around this woman's death. Next up we have The Perfect Mother by Amy Malloy. This is a thriller novel that centers around a group of young mothers who call themselves the May Mothers, and they've formed a mothers club. One evening when they catch up for drinks at a local bar, one of the mother's children goes missing, and the story centers around the search for the kidnapper of this woman's son. After that, we have It Ends With Her by Brianna Labuskis. This is another mystery novel that centers around a woman who has been on the hunt for a serial killer who always follows a certain number of patterns. He only ever kills redheads, and he doesn't target another victim until she's already figured out or discovered the previous victim. Until one day he breaks his pattern and she has to go back to the drawing board and basically start all of her research all over again to find this serial killer. And finally, we have The Pisces by Melissa Broder. This is about a woman who is studying Greek mythology and in particular is writing a dissertation on Sappho when her boyfriend breaks up with her. She ends up in a spiral of depression and anxiety until she meets and becomes attracted to an eerily attractive swimmer when she is exploring the beach at night. And that is it for all of the May releases that I am particularly excited about this month. Let me know if any of these books have interested you to the point where you might be adding them to your TBR, or if you have already read these books because you managed to score an advanced reader's copy of them, because I would love to talk about some of these books and what they're like and whether they live up to the hype that I feel they have. Also, let me know if you liked this video so that I know whether or not I should be making another one next month. I will see you in another video very shortly, I'm sure, and until then, as always, stay classic.
Sit there and count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue.